What's going on? This is just a quick video that I wanted to make to show you guys my Bulgarian Circle 10 Makarov pistol. This particular gun I picked up off of classicfirearms.com. They've got these going at a really good price point right now for only $275. I'm aware that their previous batch of Makarovs were running for $299. However, those Makarovs also came with a holster, a lanyard, a cleaning rod, and I know some of them also came with a logbook. But their current batch is just a Makarov, one magazine, and the extra grip. And of course, when you get the gun, it will come with this rubberized target grip installed, and then the original Bakelite grip will be separate, and you have to install it yourself. I'm not sure why it's got to be that way, why they can't import them into the country with the original Bakelite grip, but whatever. Like I said, comes with one magazine. I did manage to find this extra magazine. Actually, this is the one it came with. This is the one I picked up. This was the only one I managed to find anywhere online for less than $30, which took some time to do. It was not an easy task to find one of these magazines at a reasonable price, but I'm happy I found it. Shoots the 9x18 Makarov round, or the 9mm Makarov. There's a lot of different ammo you can get for it. This particular ammo, most of it you find will be steel cased, and these guns are pretty much designed to shoot steel-cased ammo. But this particular load, it's shooting pretty hot. It's Monarch ammo. It's the ballistic chart listed on it says it's about 1135 feet per second, which is pretty hot. I looked around online at the ballistics level for some other 9mm Makarov rounds, and some of them are shooting a lot hotter than this. I'm talking 1450 and maybe even higher than that, which is a really hot round. But anyway, let's take a look at the gun. They do have a hand select going for these at Classic Firearms. You get a hand select option, which is calling it the best out of 10. However, I did not pay the hand select fee, and what they sent me was a really nice Makarov. And I don't think that you have to pay the hand select fee to get a good gun. And I mean, there's really not a lot of wear on this gun. The only wear that I'm seeing at all anywhere is, I mean, there might be just a tad bit of holster wear kind of up there by the barrel, but other than that, there's not a lot. I looked up the serial number for this particular gun. This one was made in 1982, if I figured that out correctly. I could be wrong, but I think this is a 1982 gun. Just looks really nice. I do know that a few people were getting some Russian sneaks, as they're called, which are basically somehow some Russian guns slipped into somehow got imported with a batch of Bulgarians, and they were basically undetected, and then people sold them as Bulgarian Makarovs, and when actually there was a couple of Russian Makarovs in there that they happened to ship out to people. And I know that some people got those from Classic Firearms batch of Makarovs. Probably notice that it looks a lot like a Walther, and that's actually because this was based off the Walther. Nikolai Makarov, the Russian fellow who designed this gun, took a lot of cues from the German Walther design, and as I'll show you, it takes apart just like the Walther, and it's very similar inside to a Walther. A fixed barrel, blowback design. Pull the trigger guard down to take it apart just like you would a Walther. Cool thing about these guns, chrome line barrels, which is really nice. And they're just a really, really solid piece of machinery. I mean, the whole gun is just one solid piece of steel. Entire frame steel, slide steel. Everything on this gun is steel, except of course for your Bakelite grips. Put it back together. Just like that. Also similar to the Walther design, the safety is also a decocker. Pretty cool. It's got a fairly heavy double action trigger pull. Not too bad. It's pretty smooth, but a little heavy. The single action is a lot nicer. This is a double single action gun as well, meaning if you load a magazine in there and rack it in the chamber and then you let the hammer up, the first shot will be double action, and then all of the subsequent shots will be single action. The hammer will remain locked back. Now, there's a lot of different pistols out there that are chambered in the 9mm Makarov round, but in order for it to be considered a true Makarov, it has to be made in either Russia, of course, you know, the country that designed the gun, Bulgaria at the Arsenal plant, Arsenal factory. I believe Norinco has some of these, and East Germany. I think those are all of the countries that produce genuine, true Makarovs. I do know that for the Bulgarian Makarovs, when they first started producing them in Bulgaria, they were produced under Russian, Soviet supervision, and then up to a certain point, they were producing them on their own without any Russian supervision. They were first being produced in '51, and then I'm not sure when the production stopped. But these guns are very, very plentiful. These guns are everywhere, and a lot of people are carrying them for conceal and carry, and the ammunition for them is very plentiful, and it's cheap too. I will say about this ammunition, you can probably tell it looks just like a .380 round. I don't have any .380 ammo with me right now, but if you compare them side by side, you'll notice that the Makarov round is just ever so slightly fatter, and I'm talking just a smidge taller than your typical .380 ACP round. And they say that this round is in between a .380 and your typical 9mm Luger, and that's pretty accurate, I'd say, because when you shoot this round, me personally, I was surprised by the kick from it. It's not a bad kick. It's not like a hard kick or anything. It's just a little more than I was expecting from such a round, you know, because it looks just like a .380. You know, a little .380. It's practically a pea shooter. And I've got a Glock 42 chambered in .380, and you know, it just, you know, like I said, it's a little pea shooter. But this gun, however, it has a much stronger recoil, and I mean, it feels a lot better too. It just feels like a solid, you know, whatever. Another thing to note about this gun, it is extremely accurate. It is very accurate. And I'm talking, you know, if you're fairly good with a pistol, even at 25 yards, this gun is going to remain deadly accurate. And that's something to note when, you know, talking about a gun of this size and, you know, shoots a bullet that small. It's really, really impressive for how accurate it is. So yeah, like I said, Circle 10, made in Bulgaria. Awesome little gun. Going for $275 right now on Classic. And I gotta say, that is an excellent price point for these guns, because I'd say your money is much better spent buying one of these as opposed to spending, you know, $500 on a little Glock 380 or whatnot. I think this is a much more reliable gun, and I mean, first of all, it just feels like just a sturdy, freaking indestructible piece of steel. I mean, this gun is literally built like a tank. And I would much rather be carrying one of these than carrying something like a pea shooter Glock 380. Anyway, I just wanted to show that off and kind of talk about it. I've had this gun for a couple weeks, and I wanted to at least get some rounds through it before I made a video on it so I could say how it shoots. I've only put 50 rounds through it so far, not a lot, but I've not had any problems with it, and I mean, for being a gun made in 1982, it looks like it's practically brand new, especially when I took it apart for the first time to clean the cosmoline out of it, because, you know, when you get these military surplus guns, they're just covered in cosmoline. However, this one wasn't that bad. There was just, you know, a little light coating of cosmoline on the outside, and then the insides are had a good amount of cosmoline on them, but it didn't take too long to clean them out. But anyway, when I looked at the barrel for the first time, it looked like it had not been shot at all. I mean, the barrel looked absolutely flawless. And that's an awesome thing, because these guns are so old. Well, this one's not that old, 1982, but, you know, being military surplus guns and all, they're just in great condition. So yeah, just wanted to show that off. I don't know of any other websites that have these in stock right now. I looked around at a few other places, and I think Classic might be the only one that has some left, but I could be wrong. Anyway, if you guys ever get a chance to pick up one of these, I definitely would do it, because they are a great buy. Anyway, thanks for watching.